Diddy is now at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a place that's been described as hell on earth.
In a shocking twist, Sean Diddy Combs finds himself face-to-face with an unexpected rival, Luigi Mangione, an assassin associated with danger and mystery. Luigi's sudden arrival in jail has put Diddy into an explosive reaction that has got everyone talking. Could the two men have some kind of beef? Or is there a story behind Diddy's reaction? Join us as we reveal why Diddy explodes when assassin Luigi Mangione arrives. Diddy loses control as Luigi Mangione's arrival sparks chaos behind bars. Tensions increase within the Metropolitan Detention Center when Sean Combs, sometimes known as Diddy, encountered an unexpected contender for attention, accused CEO assassin Luigi Mangione. According to insiders, Diddy's arrival triggered an angry outburst since he is supposedly upset over the attention the new criminal is receiving. For the first time in his life, Diddy found himself at the mercy of a system that rejected his pleas. Jail guards denied his request, making the once powerful billionaire visibly angry. According to reports, he refused to leave his cell in protest over an unforeseen change in his condition while detained. Meanwhile, a plethora of incriminating documents and allegations have emerged outside of the penitentiary, casting doubt on Diddy's past. These exposés dig into serious claims of human trafficking, with former associates alleging Diddy used parties to locate victims. These revelations have dominated the radio, painting a gloomy picture of the once famous rapper's double life. Diddy's displeasure is heightened by the warm reception Luigi Mangione has received from his fellow convicts. Mangione, known for his purported role in exposing influential figures' corruption, has gained admiration from prisoners who tell their own stories of losing loved ones as a result of systemic failings such as inadequate health care. The camaraderie surrounding Mangione only seems to worsen Diddy's feelings of isolation and resentment as he vigorously defends his innocence while encountering increasing hostility from everyone around him. The stark disparity between the two convicts' circumstances has produced a tinderbox of emotions within cells, leaving observers wondering how long Diddy can bear the pressure before losing his cool totally. Turns out this is not the only time Diddy has gotten scared in prison in recent time. What other moment got him scared and why? Keep watching to find out. Diddy's holiday meltdown, a nightmare behind bars. Another of Diddy's outbursts came days after he had a meltdown. The festive season was anything but merry for Diddy. Spending his first holiday season at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, the music mogul reportedly suffered a dramatic meltdown that highlighted the grim reality of his incarceration. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic, with Diddy apparently crying out for medical help in an apparent desperate attempt to find comfort. Guards, however, ignored his request, leaving him to suffer alone. This meltdown came after months of tension following Diddy's September 2024 arrest for racketeering and coercion. While his well-known defense team initially requested house confinement at his Miami home and later proposed a fancy New York apartment, the judges were suspicious. Judges refused to give him bail, citing his flight risk and potential threat to the community. Charges that Diddy attempted to influence witnesses while in jail aggravated the court's tough stance. Insiders present a striking image of Diddy's change while behind bars. The confident, larger-than-life entrepreneur is no longer among us. In his place is a guy clearly worn down by his circumstances, thinner, grayer, and a shadow of his former self. Those close to him characterize his mental state as paranoid and weak. According to one insider, he has made a lot of enemies. People want him killed. He's afraid that his food might be poisoned. The situation peaked the day after Christmas, when Diddy begged guards to take him to the jail hospital, convinced he was having a mental and physical breakdown. His cries went unheard, leaving him to face his misery alone. Remarkably, Diddy was able to regain his composure through meditation, depending on hours of deep breathing and mindfulness methods to ground himself. Someone told me it took him hours of focusing to get out of the bad space he was in, but he finally managed it. Despite these attempts, his imprisonment remains a major concern. Diddy's legal team is yet to secure his release, and his suffering is far from over. The once powerful mogul is now navigating a harsh and unforgiving society that is starkly different from his past life of opulence. But as Diddy continued to be disoriented in prison, more trouble was looming for him. What were they? Let's find out. Diddy's legal avalanche. Over 300 lawsuits and mounting pressure. Diddy is now on the verge of ruin as an unprecedented surge of lawsuits threatens to wreck his career and reputation. Since his high-profile arrest in September, the Bad Boy Records founder has faced multiple charges of misbehavior, trafficking, and conspiracy. Tony Busby, a well-known Texas attorney who has filed over 24 civil claims against Combs, the majority of which involve charges of mistreatment and exploitation, is leading the legal fight. Busby claimed that his company has screened over 100 persons who wish to file claims against Combs, a figure that has since increased. To date, approximately 3,000 calls have been received, and the total number of lawsuits could approach 300. These allegations, dating back more than 2 decades, present a bleak picture of Combs as a man accused of a methodical and predatory pattern of behavior. Surprisingly, several plaintiffs claimed they were teenagers at the time of the incidents, adding a deeper depth to the allegations. Busby described the magnitude of the allegations as startling in a forthright interview with the BBC, with claimants ranging in gender, age, and even minors. Many of these cases are still within the statute of limitations, so more lawsuits could be filed in the coming months. Despite the gravity of the situation, Diddy's legal team has flatly refuted the allegations, calling the incident a shameless publicity stunt. Combs maintains his innocence, claiming that the facts will emerge in court. Diddy is now being held in federal detention on allegations of trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. His trial is scheduled for May 2025. Federal justices upheld their decision to keep him in detention, emphasizing the seriousness of the charges against him. Meanwhile, the legal situation becomes even more complicated as Busby confronts claims. Last month, an unidentified celebrity accused Busby of attempted extortion, alleging that he and his firm threatened to concoct malicious misconduct allegations unless the star agreed to a financial settlement. The plaintiff was later identified as Jay-Z, Diddy's longtime friend and business partner. The quick convergence of legal disputes has thrust Diddy and Busby into a high-stakes battle with potentially far-reaching ramifications. As more claims surface, men's careers and reputations are compromised. Amongst one of the lawsuits filed against Diddy, one stood out, citing a little more disturbing allegation against the music mogul. What could this lawsuit be about? Let's find out. A harrowing allegation against Diddy, LaTroya Grayson's story. Amid Sean Combs' escalating legal issue, LaTroya Grayson makes a bombshell new accusation, coming forward publicly with an account that might rock the foundations of his business. Grayson's story, unlike the anonymous accusations in past cases, is chillingly detailed, describing one of the most horrifying events of her life. This lawsuit began in 2006 when Oklahoma's K-Jams 105.3 FM hosted a fancy radio contest in collaboration with Atlantic Records, Delta Airlines, and Diddy's Bad Boy Entertainment. The grand prize included a unique invitation to one of Diddy's well-known white parties, as well as a luxurious trip to New York City for 2. These white parties were renowned for their grandeur, celebrity guest lists, and spectacular entertainment. Grayson and her sister avidly participated in the tournament, and her sibling eventually won. The prize package included admittance to the VIP party, lodging at the Roger Smith Hotel, and round-trip transportation. What began as a great chance rapidly turned into a terrifying nightmare. Grayson alleges that her drink was laced with the substance during the event, and then she woke up in a hospital with no memory of how she got there. Her case, filed in New York federal court, claims that Diddy's enterprises, the radio station, the hotel, and the aircraft all conspired to cause her trauma. The evening that transformed Grayson's life apparently began with an upsetting and unpleasant selection procedure. Contest winners, including Grayson and her sister, were driven to the exclusive party in a van. Upon arrival, attendees were appraised based on their physical attractiveness, and only a select few were allowed entrance. Grayson's sister was denied admittance, forcing Grayson to attend the party alone, a vulnerable position that laid the stage for the terrifying events that unfolded. Grayson describes an eerie atmosphere at the party. Unlike any typical celebration, there was no visible bar for guests to order drinks. Instead, pre-made cocktails were served by the waitstaff. After consuming 2 drinks, Grayson began to feel unwell and disoriented. She attempted to find a restroom, but everything suddenly went black. Her next memory was waking up in a hospital bed at St. Vincent's Medical Center. Grayson's clothing was torn, her underwear missing, and her personal belongings, including money, were gone. Hospital staff informed her that she had been found unconscious and brought in for emergency treatment. Grayson's case stands out not only for its harrowing details, but also for her bravery in coming forward publicly. Her charges put a negative light on Diddy's infamous white parties, prompting people to question his brand's glamorous image. As her lawsuit progresses, Grayson's account could be one of the most damaging strikes yet to the struggling music mogul. Grayson's sorrow is exacerbated by a scary phone call she received shortly after the incident. A woman on the other end of the line spoke with a menacing tone. "Don't bother pursuing legal action against Diddy. You'll get nowhere against someone with his wealth and power." The veiled threat, along with Grayson's confusion, left her feeling powerless. She chose not to report the mistreatment because she was intimidated and emotionally frightened and feared revenge. Grayson remained silent for nearly 2 decades, but as claims against Sean Diddy Combs grew and criminal charges for mistreatment and racketeering surfaced, she felt emboldened to break her silence. Her lawsuit, filed in federal court in New York, names Diddy as a defendant alongside Bad Boy Entertainment, Atlantic Records, Delta Airlines, and the Roger Smith Hotel. Grayson says that these institutions played a key role in creating the conditions that led to her mistreatment. What began as an amazing opportunity to attend one of Diddy's famous white parties rapidly turned into a nightmare. Grayson's detailed evidence paints a distressing picture of a culture that prioritized exclusivity, power, and image before safety and responsibility. Her narrative highlights a system that she believes failed her and possibly many others. Grayson's decision to remain silent for so long was driven by fear, guilt, and the belief that Diddy's immense influence would drown out her voice. However, given the ongoing federal investigation into the music mogul's alleged crimes, Grayson feels safe enough to speak up and demand accountability. Despite the gravity of her charges, Grayson's case is not without difficulties. The defense will most likely contend that her assertions lack tangible evidence because she lost memory of the important events of the evening. She has, however, supplemented her case with images, invoices, and medical records that support key aspects of her story. These pieces of paperwork could be essential in supporting her assertions. Grayson's account is part of a bigger series of complaints against Diddy, from ex-lovers' accusations to claims of exploitative conditions at his VIP parties. A gloomy picture is forming. The overwhelming number of incidents raises the question, how many more stories like Grayson's go untold? As predicted, Diddy's legal team has vigorously disputed all allegations, claiming they are baseless and opportunistic. They have stated that Diddy plans to forcefully defend himself in court. However, Grayson's lawsuit comes at the worst possible time for the struggling millionaire. Already facing federal charges, this latest case raises concerns about his conduct and image. Grayson's bravery in speaking up sends a powerful message against a culture of quiet. Her story has the potential to start a broader discussion about accountability in the entertainment industry. In her case, the demand is for fundamental reform rather than just justice. By speaking out, LaTroya Grayson challenges an industry that is routinely blamed for turning a blind eye to exploitation. Her decision illuminates the dark side of a civilization that values power and exclusivity, revealing the human cost of unchecked misbehavior. Her narrative exemplifies resilience and the bravery required to face a system that has long silenced voices like hers. As Diddy's legal woes spiral, how did his fate get intertwined with another? Keep watching to find out. A shared fate. Luigi Mangione and Diddy Combs' prison, legal trouble, and shared counsel. Luigi Mangione and Sean Diddy Combs, two of the most infamous people in the United States, now share more than just their reputation. The two find themselves in the same prison, the renowned Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn, as well as the same powerful counsel. Luigi Mangione, who stands accused of the brutal assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, was arrested in Pennsylvania after a 5-day search. He was swiftly transferred to New York and is now in federal custody at the MDC, a facility notorious for its harsh conditions. According to reports from CNN and ABC News, Mangione is housed alongside a slew of other high-profile inmates, including Combs, infamous Mexican cartel figure Ismael El Mayo Zambada, and former FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried. Former Warden Cameron Lindsay described the MDC as one of the most troubled, if not the most troubled facilities in the Bureau of Prisons, and its inmates have dubbed it Hell on Earth. It is New York City's only operational federal prison, functioning as a hub for individuals such as Mangione and Combs. Karen Friedman Agnifilo, Mangione's attorney who also represents Combs in a separate trafficking case, has expressed worries about the difficulties of handling two high-profile cases at the same time. She referred to the situation as two different cases and noted the challenges that lie ahead as both the state and federal legal battles unfold. Mangione faces federal assassination charges for the assassination of Brian Thompson, which authorities allege was driven by disputes with the insurance company. If convicted, Mangione could face the death penalty, despite the fact that it was abolished in New York State in 2004. As more details about the case emerge, authorities have discovered disturbing evidence such as forged IDs, a passport, and healthcare-related texts. Mangione's manifesto, which was allegedly influenced by filmmaker Michael Moore's critiques of the U.S. healthcare system, sheds light on his confused thinking leading up to the assassination. The case against Mangione is already gaining traction not only because of the gravity of the charges, but also because of the high-profile nature of his defense attorney, Agnifilo, who represents a man accused of trafficking in another high-profile case. Her comments about the situation indicate that this legal battle is unlike any she has previously handled. Mangione's first federal court appearance occurred shortly after his transfer, and he was dressed in a white shirt, navy sweater, and khaki slacks. Following the hearing, his lawyer declined to say further, instead giving a message of gratitude for Mangione's support. Mr. Mangione is grateful for everyone's support. Thank you so much, Agnifilo commented. Mangione currently faces both state and federal accusations. The state charges him with assassination and an act of terrorism, and he is also facing weapons and forgery charges in Pennsylvania. His next court appearance is set for January 18th, 2025, and is expected to be a watershed moment in his legal career. With both state and federal cases ongoing, Mangione's situation remains fluid and the public's attention is focused on the outcome. Meanwhile, Combs is embroiled in his own legal troubles, with a spate of misbehavior lawsuits casting a pall over his once famous career. While the cases are not similar, Mangione and Combs' common legal representation has added intrigue to an already tense situation. Will these two men, both under enormous legal pressure, be able to dodge the consequences of their different crimes, or will their shared lawyer be the only link they have as their fates diverge in the courtroom? The outcome will be determined only by time. But with the emergence of Mangione's case, why has the public's support drifted to the criminal, and what might this mean for him? Let's find out. Public support and the possibility of jury nullification. As the legal battle over Luigi Mangione continues, a strange surge of public support has emerged which may influence the outcome of his case in unexpected ways. Last month, demonstrators gathered outside a New York courtroom with posters saying "Free Luigi," expressing their displeasure not only with Mangione's charges but also with the profit-driven health insurance business, which many believe had a role in his alleged crimes. Some supporters wore green caps imitating the distinctive headgear of the video game character Luigi, heightening the drama around his case. Karen Friedman Agnifilo, Mangione's attorney, acknowledged that the defendant has received emails from individuals wishing to donate to his legal fees, indicating an outpouring of support. Meanwhile, Mangione's rising public support took an unexpected turn when his name was mentioned during a humorous skit on Saturday Night Live. The remark elicited extended applause, demonstrating that the public's image of Mangione is more complicated than a straightforward criminal prosecution. This unexpected surge in positive public opinion has raised the possibility, however remote, of a legal outcome that sits in the gray area of American law: jury nullification. While jury nullification is uncommon, its possible consequences in Mangione's case cannot be overlooked. As the trial progresses, everyone is wondering if the strength of public opinion will have a lasting impact on the legal process and ultimately affect the decision of Mangione's fate in the courtroom. What do you think about Diddy's outburst with the arrival of Luigi Mangione? And do you think Mangione's fate will amount to? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.